Hello, welcome to Movie Musters, Force, Power Book IV War and Ice Cream, Season 2, Episode 3. Tommy and company have won this week yet again, whereas Jernerd has lost. Do the tides ever change? No, not at the moment. Jernerd is so far behind that he isn't even aware that he is competing. Additionally, he was high while strategizing in the last seconds of Power Book IV, Force Season 2, Episode 3, which is a surefire way to end badly. The good thing about this season is that there are a lot of different wars happening, which makes each hour fascinating. There is also never a dull moment or a minute of wasted screen time because each tale has its own level of excitement. Everything flowed and functioned to provide an interesting installment, even during an hour like tonight that was short on action and set up to be an hour that puts future things in motion more so than answering any remaining issues. During power seasons, it is always necessary to relocate pieces during the slower hours. Not every situation can be suspenseful and dramatic. Tommy was dealing with his childhood mistreatment, making business decisions, threatening a lot of people, and setting up a date at the same time. So, for Tommy, it was a routine day, albeit a hectic one. The relationship between Tommy and Diamond held together while also tumbling. It appears to be barely hanging on at this point. A trade made of dolls. The eventual goal of Tommy's actions so far in Power Book IV, Force Season 2 has been to act as Chicago's Connect, which entails invading new territory and encouraging rivals to kill one another. Tommy, as usual, was considerably more careless in his approach while Diamond has largely been on board but is also working to stay alive and out of jail. Moving inside the prison was a proactive and clever move since it gave them another way to quickly make money while biting the Serbs. But naturally, things weren't always easy. It's odd because Tommy seems to be doing most of the moving, yet I believe that Diamond is necessary for Tommy to succeed, which is why I believe he is controlling himself more than usual. He is aware that he cannot seize control of Chicago by himself. He remains a stranger, as shown by the fact that Lil K deviated from plan to pursue him in the first place. Even though you are on opposing sides, you would never dare to make a move like that. Thus neither did it happen to Diamond. Because everyone knew where to find him, Lil K was practically hidden in plain sight. And despite the fact that a bounty was placed on his head, he felt at ease enough to assist his grandma in getting to the cash-checking location. He has no fear of anyone, so give me some of his bravery. Naturally, Tommy wanted him dead, but I adore the fact that he went to Jernerd first. It served as a warning as well as a tool for Tommy to better understand what was going on in Treason. He soon discovered that Treason was in ruins. By now, Tommy and CBI are also aware that Jernerd had no control over Treason, as we already were. Because of his wounded ego and dislike of being pushed aside by his brother, Jernerd broke away from CBI and Diamond. But because he lacked a clear strategy, he is currently struggling to climb out of a hole that keeps becoming deeper. Although Shanty was correct that killing Lil K did not aid his case, what else could he have done? While keeping him alive outside his grandmother's house was the right decision at the time, it wasn't the best decision for him in the long term. He had to choose between trying to keep the little respect he still had from his people and avoiding Tommy's attention. I am aware of my decision. Jernerd is the epitome of fake it until you make it since he constantly talks when no one is paying attention. He gained a lot of respect during Season 1 of Power Book IV, Force and, obviously, when Diamond was absent. But the losses are now quite significant, and people are talking in the streets. CBI was moving quickly, and Jernerd was being humiliatingly run off the road and having his vehicle taken. Jernerd, did he always dip in his product? He hit the Dahlia and half of Chicago, as I recall, but I don't recall ever seeing him use. Even Lil K appeared astonished because the ancient adage "don't get high off your own supply" had obviously spread to Treason. Lil K approached Jernerd with a lot of arrogance, being aware that the man was looking for an excuse to commit an act of violence and truly believing that he was untouchable. Lil K's murder will make him right with Tommy, but it will probably cause even more of a rift between him and Shanty and the rest of the group. Additionally, having a serious drug problem could be the difference between life and death for him. If Jernerd reaches his lowest point and loses everything he has worked for due to treason, is there a possibility that Diamond will bury the hatchet and reintegrate him into CBI? I've often wondered if there is anything that may bring Jernerd and Diamond back together in any capacity. If you stop and think about it, Tommy, Diamond, and Jernerd working together would be nuts. While Tommy tried to order Jernerd around and Jernerd complied while keeping his lips shut, Diamond was able to control his ego. That would definitely be at the top of my list of things I would love to see, but I don't think it would ever happen. Tommy may only see victories and increased power even while Jernerd is now losing. But I have to wonder how much Miguel has been given credit for. Miguel is being portrayed as a barbarian, and the act of cryogenically freezing someone's hand so you could break it off didn't change that. But he has also been proven to have limits. He reports to others, and his current influence is limited. Tommy, Miguel, with all due respect, what the fuck does this have to do with us? Just so you know, Miguel, what happens to those who betray me? Power Book IV, Force Season 2 Episode 2's theft may have given Miguel and Diamond the upper hand, but they must realize they might not have such good fortune in the future. And while it gave them a quick advantage, Miguel was immediately on high alert. Coming to him with that demand for more goods was puzzling, if only because it seemed as though the guys couldn't read the room. Miguel wasn't in a trusting or accepting state of mind since he felt betrayed and his frame of mind was off. However, their requests might not have been absurd. For Tommy and Diamond, it will continue to be a difficult effort to enter through the back door and steal Miguel's business while posing as loyal troops. It is not breaking news that the Flynn family was disintegrating at the seams. Walter may not be willing to hand her up to Tommy, but it appears like the only thing he's willing to do for her is to avoid being held accountable for her death. Claudia needs to discover her identity outside of being a daddy's girl. Vic has received a lot of criticism from both his father and sister, although he is the only one that spoke with Tommy and didn't give away Claudia's identity right away. Once Tommy displayed a moment of feeling, Claudia had no poker face left, and Walter's inability to control his emotions will always be a giveaway. The Flynn's problems are more serious than Tommy's, yet they are likewise not going away. The only option for Claudia to save herself at this point would be to work with someone more connected than Tommy. Tommy can't really afford to mess with her, so she needs to become untouchable or, at the very least, embedded in a precarious situation. But Tommy is there as well. If necessary, Tommy would reach out to anyone in the world. The first part of Vic's take down my dad plot worked, but Vic is not Tommy. I predict that it will take Walter 1 or 2 more issues to figure out what Vic is up to. He's not really cunning. After a week off, we checked back in with the family, and although nothing was resolved, it was wonderful to see some open dialogue amongst them. For as long as we've known each other, Kate has been this periphery tornado, constantly bursting in to seek for money or drugs and always offering unsolicited advice. Although it would be an extreme understatement to call their relationship strained, Tommy never truly abandoned her. Because family and attempting to find it for himself have shaped Tommy so much of who he is and what he has become, he has always allowed her back in, even when she didn't deserve it. And immediately, it's clear that getting Kate, JP, and D-Mac together has had to feel too good to be truthful at times. However, it's really real and effective. And I believe that's the main reason Kate has finally made up her mind to start using drugs and alcohol. I certainly hope that's what's going on. Over the years, Kate has shown herself to be a highly egotistical person who will use any means necessary to defend herself. Furthermore, Tommy and JP ought to be dubious of her sudden wish to change after all these years. JP has a motive in particular to keep her at a distance since she abandoned him, even though he may not have experienced constant disappointment like Tommy. Kate shouldn't try to change the past because she is unable to do so. Similar to JP's chat with D-Mac, she must take responsibility for her acts if she wants to make atonement, not support them. Attempt to make the future better. JP is standing in front of her and ready to improve the connection. He deserves the unflinching realities and her dedication to making things better. I really like the entire Kate-related subplot, and I hope they keep mixing in family-related drama between the bloody drug-dealing action. It offers a pleasant balance, and all of the Power series have always been excellent at it. Other information you should know. Just make a call to Big Smurf Casper, who followed Jernerd about all day like a damn ghost on his shoulder and followed him everywhere. D-Mac wants to rejoin the game despite nearly dying, but JP will not be successful in doing so to him. Uncle Tommy will have to do the task. Can you give us more background about Bobby and Stacy? We only get these fleeting small flashes, but it seems like there is good material there to mine. Please develop their dynamic before we maybe lose Bobby because police on Power are not durable. You can be assured that your series is in capable hands knowing that Joseph Sikora is at the top of the call sheet. But this season has seen some outstanding performances. Both Patricia Kalember's performances this week and Chris Lofton's work are excellent. Tommy was actually thrilled when he spotted the ice cream, which is something we don't often see in him. For a brief moment, you could see that his eyes had lit up and he's being touched. Diamond becoming a small mentor to Leon was lovely, and it should help him deal with Reeves, who carries a permanent look of suspicion. It was hilarious when Myria sent Tommy off to read. He isn't used to not getting his way, and he really wants Myria. Okay, I've said enough. I'd like to know your opinions on the moment and potential future developments. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.